All right, lesson 5.3. This is part 1, adding and subtracting polynomials. Okay, a couple of things to remember. First of all, just as a quick review, what is a polynomial? A polynomial is going to include, first of all, several monomials. And a monomial is basically a number, a variable, or both. So a monomial would be, for example, it could be 3, it could be x, or it could be 4x squared, 5, or let's say 6xy. Those are monomials. A binomial is basically any two of these that's separated with an addition sign, okay, or a subtraction sign. A trinomial would be 3 of these, and a polynomial just consists of several, basically more than 4. It's a generic term for 4 of those, okay? When we're adding them, the first thing is we're only going to combine like terms. And remember, like terms have to have 2 components. They have to, first of all, have the same variable, and they have to have the same exponent. Okay? And when you're at it, and then all you need to do is you have to add the coefficients. The variables and the exponents do not change when you're adding polynomials, okay? Only the numbers in front of the variables, okay? So make sure that when you're adding them, you do not change the exponents, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and look at a couple of examples. So this is a plus sign. So all we're going to do in adding these is we're going to add like terms. So remember, like terms have the same exponent and the same variable. So x to the third gets matched up with 3x to the third. The negative has to go with the 10, gets matched up with gets matched up with the 2x squared. There is no x over here, so I just matched the 8 up with the negative 7. Okay, so 3x to the third, 1x to the third gives me 4x to the third. A positive 2 and a negative 10 gives me negative 8x squared. This doesn't combine with anything, so I just bring it down. Negative 7 plus 8 gives me 1. Okay, and there's your solution. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and make this one a you try. So go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and try this one. Okay, so remember, we're just going to match up our like terms. So 2x to the fourth. There isn't an x to the third, so we match up the 9 with the 8. So I add these up, and I get 3x to the fourth plus 2x to the third minus 1. Okay? All right. Now, when we're subtracting polynomials, you just basically have one additional step that you need to do. Okay? So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to change all of the the subtract sign in between the polynomials to an add sign. Okay? After we do that, we're going to change all of the signs in the polynomial after that subtraction sign to their opposite. And the last thing is we're going to do the same thing we just did on the previous one and follow the addition rules. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at an example. So first of all, since this one is an addition or subtraction, remember the first thing is this one gets changed to a plus. And the polynomial that comes right after that sign, all of these get changed. So this is a positive, now it becomes a negative. This is a positive, becomes a negative. Negative becomes a positive, and this positive becomes a negative. We just change them to their opposite. And then we follow the addition rules. So we're going to match up negative 2x to the third minus 6x squared plus x minus and a negative 1. Okay? So 8 and negative 2 gives me 6x to the third. Negative 3 and a negative 6 gives me negative 9x squared. Negative 2 and a positive 1 gives me negative x. Positive 9, negative 1 gives me 8. Okay? And there's your answer. Okay? So go ahead, next video, let's make this a you try. So go ahead and pause the video at this time and go ahead and see if you can get see if you can do this one on your own. Okay, so if you remember, we're going to change the addition sign. All of the signs after that one get changed to their opposite. So this one goes to a negative, this one goes to a plus, and this one goes to a negative. So match up our like terms. 5x to the third plus x squared, no x to match up, and then a negative 17. So 3 and negative 5 gives me a negative 2x to the third. 8 plus 1 gives me a 9x squared, minus x, negative 5 and a negative 17 gives me a negative 22. Okay? Alright, well that concludes part 1. Go ahead and proceed to part 2, and that is multiplying polynomials.